The G-Man, one of the most enigmatic entities in fiction. Beginning in the first Half-Life, Gordon Freeman often sees this man in a blue suit, watching him, and vanishing before he can reach him. Until the end of the game, after Freeman kills the Nihilith, they finally speak face to face. This conversation clears nothing up. If anything, you're left with more questions. Who is this guy? Why can he teleport at will? He's offering us a job, but for what? Who are his employers? Why does he speak with these bizarre inflections? And that's just scratching the surface. We wake up in the next game with him talking to us again, casually warping reality or something, and he drops us off in a dystopian future where a totalitarian regime has been established by an alien amalgam known as the Combine. Throughout the second game, we see him watching us, always just out of reach. Once he appears on a TV screen, which I assume he does solely to f with us. Finally, at the end of the game, we defeat Dr. Breen, and he leaves us to die. Still as arrogant as ever. Then, for episode 1, the Vortigaunts do some extra-dimensional magic ritual or something, and for the first time we see him confused and concerned. He is not infallible. It becomes apparent that he recruited Gordon after the first game, allegedly on behalf of his employers. It's clear these employers are not the Combine. But then, what are they? He drops Gordon off in Half-Life 2, knowing the decisions Gordon would make, but without taking his free will. Gordon's mission was to disrupt the Combine and kill Dr. Breen, but the G-Man didn't need to tell him or force him. He just left him in the right place at the right time that would lead to a chain of events. So freaking cool. He doesn't appear after he storms off at the beginning of episode 1, until partway through episode 2, where he freezes time to talk to Gordon while the Vortigaunts heal Alyx. So much is hinted at in this short time. He hesitates and chuckles when he calls the Vortigaunts friends, as if he knows, and this is a theory, they have their own goals and reasons. They don't care about humanity. At least, that may be what he wants us to think. He reveals that he rescued Alyx from Black Mesa as a child, in the face of his colleagues and employers who thought she would be worthless. At the end, he implants a message for her to bring to her father, Eli. Prepare for unforeseen consequences. Which is the name of the chapter in the first game immediately following the resonance cascade that started this whole mess. The term comes up in a few places, and there's one really clever subversion of it when Dr. Breen says in Nova Prospect that their submission to the Combine will yield unexpected benefits. So cool. Finally, we get Eli's stunning conversation, our mutual friend. Immediately after finding out about the Borealis, Eli is terrified of it creating another incident like Black Mesa, and it is only then that the G-Man's message comes out. He freaks out and has to sit down. He explains that the G-Man was working him too, back at Black Mesa, and he's the one who brought the crystal that caused the resonance cascade. He knows more and wants to tell Gordon, but it apparently can wait. Then, after our victory, there's a horrific scene where Combine advisors kill him, and all we, the players, are left thinking is unforeseen consequences. And finally, after many years of silence, comes Half-Life Alyx. It's full of Easter eggs and references, but as it pertains to the G-Man, we discover the Combine have this giant floating prison with whole buildings inside it. They are scared out of their minds of what they are holding. The Resistance thinks it's Gordon Freeman, but as Alyx ascends up, her dad suddenly freaks out and tries to stop her. He figured out who they're actually holding in there. Alyx disables the thing and finally reaches the prisoner in one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in my life. He immediately starts his reality warping thing and transports us to the same type of area where the train was at the end of the first game. He slowly steps out of the void and they begin talking about what he can offer and what he does. He nudges events into the desired outcome, and the part where he asks, "What would you want nudged?" He is looking through Alyx's eyes into the player. This is so freaking cool. Who thought of this? But yeah, he asks what we would want nudge, but then his eyes go back to normal when he says her name. He says getting the Combine off Earth would not conform with the wishes of his employers, which is interesting given he is clearly against the Combine. Like I said, enigmatic. He offers her the chance to save her father in the future in exchange for her services, but he makes her be the one to do it. He doesn't save her father, he just lets her do it, locking her into a binding otherworldly contract. Then we wake up as Gordon at the end of episode 2 to see Eli alive and Alyx missing. I assume the way they'll explain this, or at least the prevailing theory, would be that Gordon saw both timelines because in the version Eli died, Gordon was employed, but in the new version, his contract was then terminated. But in any event, how freaking cool is this? Who wrote this? If you ever want to take on an apprentice, I am more than willing. Teach me. Oh gosh, I didn't even talk about his interactions with Adrian Shepard. There's so much to this character, and he remains a complete enigma. He can travel through space and time at will, but doesn't interfere too much. He has some employers who are not the Combine, but are using the Combine, and the Combine are clearly against them. I can't get over him looking through Alyx and at the player. Oh my lord. Half-Life is so brilliantly written, and the G-Man stands as one of the most interesting characters in all of fiction for me. The G-Man alone lets them explore the concept of free will, struggle against perceived inevitability, and really makes the player feel tiny, insignificant, compared to not just the G-Man, but his employers. And it does this without taking away from the struggle. I've seen in other games and movies and stuff where the big world-ending plots overshadow everything else in a way that makes it hard to care about those little, but often more interesting plots. Half-Life strikes a beautiful balance between making you feel tiny, but not so much that you can't appreciate everything else that's happening in your tiny existence. And as for the G-Man himself, I mean, he's not infallible, yet he is so far beyond our comprehension. His not quite human appearance, his bizarre speech patterns, strange deals that sometimes benefit us. The writing of the G-Man is nothing short of genius. Thanks for watching. This was a very intimidating video to make, but I had to make it. I want to talk more about Half-Life and theories I have on it, so if you want to see videos like that, let me know. But I think that's it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and like, and I will see you up ahead.